I know a manager who was literally eating his lunch in the bathroom with the stall closed because it's the only way people would leave him alone. And the only time that he would have to do that. And so we point the finger at the middle manager as being bad, but then how are we actually supporting that middle manager?
One of the things that I see clients do is that you have done all of the right things in creating a role that is specific for success that you want to hire for. You have used data and metrics in order to be able to make decisions objectively without biases in place. And you've even created an onboarding program that is focused on your buyer and micro chunked that down so that your salespeople can easily apply it and learn it. So then why is it that so many salespeople are still failing to meet their quotas? If you followed all of those steps, it can be so frustrating. Well, here's what I have found is that not only has the cost of a sales hire failure, the price of that has gone up, but the number of salespeople who are actually meeting their quotas has significantly decreased. Basically, 75% of reps miss their quota. 16% of those create 83% of the revenue. So what is it that's going wrong if you've hired right, if you've onboarded to the best of your ability?
You can hire the right people, but if you don't have the right manager in place to actually coach them, so first it's hiring the right person, then it's making sure you're onboarding them correctly, but then continuous development, that's all on the manager. And
this is where it often comes down to the sales managers and helping those new reps to be able to ramp up the fastest. And the one thing that sales managers need to do that has the biggest impact is to be able to coach. But what happens oftentimes is that they're being pulled in so many other directions that they don't actually have the time to coach. The next challenge is that they don't have the time and they don't know how. Maybe they've never been coached themselves or been trained on how to coach.
It's kind of like when you're trying to lose weight. You know that you need to eat right, you know that you need to exercise, but what I find often happens when I work with salespeople and not the managers is that the salespeople will improve temporarily. And then once the coaching stops from me and they go back into their normal environment with their manager, it's like trying to lose weight while you're surrounded by chocolate cake and pepperoni pizza.
The other thing that also gets in the way of managers is their own beliefs around sales and the activities of sales. So not only will managers' beliefs infect their team at a rate of 355% if they're negative, if they're not supportive, things like, I understand when people need to think it over, or people will eventually buy from us, or we need to have the best price in order to win the deal. When managers think that, it impacts their sales team's abilities to be able to sell on value, to do consultative selling, and to have decision-making access to decision makers for deals.
And then there's the impact that a manager's beliefs and mindsets have on their team and how that starts to spread like a virus in their team, and that they start to display the behaviors that the manager believes and thinks.
Here's the other thing that happens is that when managers have non-supportive beliefs or they're out of control, like a need for approval or emotional involvement, it impacts their ability to be able to coach. They won't have the tough conversations and questions. They'll get excited when their rep says that this is going to close on this date because they'll believe them because they're invested in that outcome themselves. All of these are things that are hidden obstacles to them being able to coach as well. Here's the kicker, is that managers who spend at least 50% of their time coaching and have been trained to coach have sales teams who have 49% more skills. Can you imagine what your team could do with 49% more skills? This is the final missing equation in how we can get our reps to actually work out, to actually ramp up faster and put our buyers first. So I hope that people can join me for the next webinar that we're going to be doing with Ben Tagoe from Objective Management Group, because we're going to be talking about what do you need to be doing before you hire, during the hire, and how do you need to completely do that after the hire so that your reps have the best likelihood of success.